Oh, that cliffhanger is nasty. That's a nasty cliffhanger. JoJo, what are you doing to me? What are you doing to me right now, JoJo? Like, I'm not a fan of a cliffhanger like that. No, I'm not. I'm not a fan. That does not sit right with me. A cliffhanger like that really gets me fired up for the next week's episode, because that right there, that with Kira confronting his son, talking to him, and then like, give me the tapes and all that, and then the son's like, hey, I have a bunch of tapes all around, I know you're not really my father. That setup at the end, holy crap, I need the next fucking episode. But before I get into the Kira stuff, which that's some really good stuff I want to talk about, let's talk about the Rohan and Koichi type, part of this episode. So, you have it to where Rohan figures out how to get rid of Cheap Trick off his back. And the outcome of it makes a lot of sense, because it was built up a long time ago, but just to think the way it was done, I didn't think something like that would exactly happen. So apparently, you have it to where Rohan, he calls over Koichi. Koichi comes over and he's like, Rohan, you're constantly pulling tricks on me. You're someone that constantly jokes around, pulls tricks. You're the type of person to lie and stuff. And it was kind of like Rohan's entire shitty personality, the way he kind of interacts with Koichi, was kind of starting to backfire against him. He realized he was doing some things throughout the past that caused it to where he had a complicated situation where many might not believe him and he was joking around. Rohan, he kind of brought a lot of stuff onto himself in this episode, and he realized that, which might lead into some form of character development in the future. But then eventually, after Koichi finally left, he's like, you're lying, Rohan took matters into his own hands. He decided to go outside and try to go and find a place or try to remove Cheap Trick from his back. Eventually, it led him down the alleyway, like the spirit alleyway, that if you turn around, those hands will come out and just drag you and you'll never be seen once again. And it was a very good plan by Rohan, because I honestly was fooled by him. I thought he was trying to go to, Jotaro, but then eventually he led to a certain location that actually would save him besides Jotaro, and Koichi was managing to follow him, and he's like, I came on a hunch. I came here because there is a 1% chance you were telling the truth and you weren't lying to me. I came here because I was worried. And so when Koichi came back, it kind of certified that, Koichi, even though he doesn't completely believe Rohan, he knows that he does this type of shit, he realized that if there is a 1% chance, he needs to stand up and go back, because if he is wrong, and that 1% chance does happen, that could cost Rohan's life. And in a way, the way this episode is displayed, it's very similar to how, Josuke's episode was. You remember how he took that chance? He's like, there's a 99% chance that is not Koichi and them and my mother and stuff that is, trapped in the piece of paper. Well, he still took that 1% chance. He still went out of his way to take that 1% chance, because there was a chance that still was them inside of there. So when you think about it like this was a reflection to show that Koichi was doing something very similar to what, Josuke was doing. It wasn't just Josuke taking the risk and doing something that kind of could be considered foolish or something you shouldn't really do, but also Koichi did it too to save a friend. So that development that Koichi got and all that, very good stuff. I like to see how he's replicating, Josuke, and how he's very similar to him in that regard of helping out his friends. So enough of that though. Rohan, I thought he honestly was breaking down. When the man was freaking out and says he just needs to die, I'm like, holy crap, this man is actually breaking down. And I mean, the way his face looked, the emphasis on the art and stuff, they did a very good job. I think David Productions did a very good job with the emphasis on Rohan's face and the way he looked, and also the mangaka of the series, because the way he looked, I honestly thought Rohan gave up at that moment. And when he finally turned around and Koichi looked at him, like, oh shit, all is lost. But then all of a sudden, a hand started coming out and grabbing Cheap Trick and dragging him in. That was something I was really happy to see. But here's the big thing about that, okay? As he's getting dragged in, Rohan uses Heaven's Door. And this is the part that really threw me for a loop. So, he uses Heaven's Door on Cheap Trick. He writes on his forehead and says that you need to go to hell. Now, we don't know necessarily if he will exactly go to hell or not, but let's just say on the off chance he does, what Rohan just did, he just condemned this stand, this portion of a soul, to hell. Holy shit. Holy shit. That is very dark when you take a moment to think about it. So, holy shit. Rohan doesn't just kill an innocent person in last week's episode, 2 episodes ago, like just seeing their back. No, he doesn't just do that. He condemns a stand to eternal torment. Hell, if there is one in JoJo's universe. So that pretty fucked up. When you really take a moment to process that, it's pretty fucked up. So, enough of that. Enough of the Koichi stuff. Enough of the Rohan stuff of how he got out. Let's talk about the Kira. So, Kira, he finally made a mistake. He could not hold back his urges. He could not hold back what makes him a serial killer. And this is something that, Jotaro and everybody have been waiting for, because he's the type of person that when he commits his acts, he has a reason for doing so. He can't help himself. He needs to kill someone. We've seen this trait of his personality beforehand. And with it, he finally slips up. He cannot hold back any longer. His fingernails have grown, they got clipped, and he was ready to finally kill someone. Now, what really surprised me was the choice of victim he got. And that is what really got me. So let's take a moment to kind of look at the scene here, okay? 2 people died in this episode. And when you take a moment to think about this, the situation of how these 2 died wasn't normally what happens. Now, hear me out, okay? Think about these 2 characters, okay? The boyfriend and girlfriend that were killed in this episode. If you look at a normal manga or anime, usually if someone's like a killer, okay? Let's just take Kira an instance. Let's say he's in another series. Let's just say he's in like a traditional manga or anime, okay? This man is in a series, and then he encounters this girl and this guy. They're talking with each other, and the conversation's very similar. The normal interaction would be like this. After, Kira kind of brushed away the girl and all that, and it looked like he was trying something, usually the boyfriend, he would try to probably punch the Kira. He would try to punch the dude that's Kira, and he would try to punch him, do something like, I'll take you outside. Something like that would usually happen in a traditional anime or manga. But after that, nothing really happened. The boyfriend looked the other way, so did the girlfriend, and they carried on. Kira walked out of the train, he hit them, like he just walked past him, and he kind of brushed him off and pushed him aside a little bit. And normally, in any anime or manga, usually the guy character say, what the fuck you doing? Like, he's like, what the hell are you doing? He would probably try to punch Kira right then and there, but that interaction did not happen. And so this happened twice in a row, and I like how this showed that these 2 characters, even though they seem like the type of person or type of people to attack Kira because of what he was doing, they did not. They clearly didn't show much hostility towards him. They showed enough hostility that makes a lot of sense. I mean, if you had a dude that was pushing you out of the way, or looked like he might have been trying to grab your girl's ass or something, usually you'd kind of react in a way that could be rather hostile. But they acted hostile enough to where they weren't completely hostile to pick a fight, but they were enough to just say their overall opinion of Kira. And if you look at it in this way, you would probably take Kira's side, but I have to side with these 2 with the way they were interacting with Kira. They didn't try to punch this man, they didn't try to kill him, take him outside the train or wherever, and beat the hell out of him. They didn't try to do that. They didn't take him to a back alley and say, we're gonna have a fight. That did not happen. They tried to act peaceful. They tried to carry on and do their own thing, even after Kira, tried to push him to the side a little bit. They carried on and went back to their house, but Kira followed them. So, Kira didn't kill them because they were assholes to him. I just want to make sure everybody understands that and realizes the way these 2 got killed, it's actually kind of sad these 2 characters got killed, because they weren't the traditional couple that are assholes against the villain or main character that want to beat the shit out of them. They're not that traditional couple. They're actually very good human beings. They didn't try to pick a fight. So, it was only until Kira barged into the house to when there was probably a fight about to break out, which makes a lot of sense. I mean, you have a random stranger just walk into your fucking house, and you don't even know who the hell this is, and if you do know who the hell this is, and this person you met earlier that was just being a straight-up asshole, then most likely, yeah, you would want to fight this man. So, that outcome right there makes a lot of sense on the couple's side. And so, Kira, what he did not kill these guys because they were mean to him. I just really want to emphasize that and make sure everybody realizes these 2 did not die thanks to that. They died because Kira just had a preference in that type of girl, which he even stated, but some might still conclude that he went after them because of the way they treated Kira, but in fact, it was Kira treating them with disrespect the entire time. So, let's talk about the death scene, too, of how Kira kind of, fucked up his opportunity. With him killing someone, he made a slip-up, because Jotaro is going to key in on that. He's going to realize something's going on, even without the son, even without the child that was videotaping and recording Kira, even without him, Jotaro and the others would probably figure out what is going on, and they would slowly come to the conclusion that Kira has slipped up and fucked up, and they would probably start to hunt him down and look at, different information they have of who probably was the last person to walk around here. So when you really think about all of this right now, Kira made a colossal fuck up, and it wasn't because he was stupid, it was because of how his character is designed. See, once again, I gotta go back back to the type of personality Kira has. He has a personality that he wants to have a very quiet and peaceful life, but at the same time, he's someone that has these urges. These urges as if you want to eat like a jar of pickles or something. He has these urges to where he needs to kill someone. He needs to rip their fucking throat out. But he can't control this. He tried to for a very long time. We've seen it throughout these recent episodes. He's tried to control this urge of killing someone. He's tried so hard trying to resist it because he realizes if he kills someone, it's him fucking up and then everybody's going to find out. But he could not resist and he finally killed someone. So it wasn't because he was stupid. It was because of the condition he has. Because he needs to kill someone. And that is what caused him to make this fuck up. Now, besides that, moving into the kid scene with the videotape, that scene was very awkward. I just really want to emphasize that scene when Kira was holding the kid and all that and they were nude, I'm like, this scene looks just like, this looks like a really fucked scene. Like, I don't know if it was supposed to look like that, but it really looked fucked up when I saw that scene. And I'm like, Kira looks like he's about to try some shit with this kid. But I know Kira's not that type of person, but it looked really fucking weird in that scene. And so, that situation just awkward as fuck. But then the kid playing Kira and saying, I have a bunch of information on you. Very good stuff, too, on his end. So yeah, that's about it when it comes to this episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 4. How do you all feel about this week's episode? You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.